What's going on, guys? This is a little bit different kind of video here. I just decided last minute to go ahead and document a little bit of this just for the sake of what it is. If you guys haven't noticed on the show in the backgrounds, a lot of times we have military uniforms, and that's because I collect militaria from all wars, preferably named stuff so I can research it. A lot of that stuff I get from yard sales, swap meets, Facebook, wherever it may be. Some of the stuff you find is a little bit more significant than others. In this particular case, about a year ago, I found a large lot of militaria at the swap meet, kind of being tossed about, scattered to the wind, as things often are at the swap meet. When I started going through it, I saw a Purple Heart, so I snatched that up pretty quick, but it was a modern one. The older ones have names on them. Generally, the new ones don't. Started gathering more stuff. Noticed 1st Cavalry Division, Class A uniforms, things like that. That was my old unit, so obviously, that piqued my interest. So I started going through it, trying to get as much as I could before I got, torn apart into the winds. I got as much gear, the combat uniforms as I could. I got to the car and I started going through some of the paperwork, and I quickly realized what it was. It turned out it was actually the Purple Heart, Bronze Star, and some other uniforms and equipment to a soldier who was killed in Iraq on his third tour of combat duty. He was a cavalry scout. Some of the other stuff was a little bit smaller in size. Looking at that, I come to realize real quick that was his wife's uniforms and equipment. I talked to the seller, who is not the greatest guy in the world, only cares about money, doesn't care about anything. He realized I was interested, so he started jacking up the price on pieces, but he said, I have more stuff next week. So, okay, I take that home, I look at it, I turn over the Purple Heart, and of course it's named because, like it just said, the newer ones aren't named unless they're to a soldier who was killed in action. So that one was named. So obviously that's got some historical significance, some sentimental significance, but I'm thinking, wow, it's tragic that this isn't still with the family. So like all things, the more research you do, you kind of put the puzzle together. So looking at the boxes and the bins he brings and some of the paperwork, these are the actual tubs that were shipped home by the Army casualty, the people that processed that. It had the list of items that were sent home. The seller sold his guitar for nothing, and I look and it's on there. So these are things that this soldier had in Iraq, and when he was killed in action, they were shipped home to the family. Tragically, the widow was actually in the Army as well. She was in Iraq at the same time as him. So I don't know how this stuff came to be. Clearly, it was a storage locker that was defaulted on. Again, some people, why did she let it go? I don't know. She was overseas at the time. When we went overseas, a lot of our stuff was shipped to storage lockers, and the Army lost everything. So there's a good chance that the Army lost it, or it might have been a family member taking care of it. But a lot of times storage lockers are lost for a lot of reasons, so that makes no difference to me. I was able to go back the next week, and I acquired his burial flag, the flag that was actually on his casket. I got, quite a bit more. There was photo albums, there was documents, there was all kinds of things. So I did a lot of research online. I was able to find information on how this soldier was killed. The unit, he actually was in the 9th Cavalry, 1st Cavalry Division, which was the same unit I was in, but, several years later, obviously. All kinds of things, piecing these things that are just physical items, but actually putting that name and that face to them. I was able to find the widow, who was also a soldier. I found her Facebook page. Looked like it was not active at all, barely used, but you could see that they had a son together before he passed away. Son looks quite a bit like the soldier who was killed, so that obviously made it pretty hard. I spent quite a bit of money on all this stuff. Some of this stuff's pretty valuable, the equipment, the gear, and everything. And then, like I said, the seller's an asshole, so he's jacking up the prices. So I spent several $100s piecing this all together, but quite frankly, it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to that son or to the widow. So I sent her a message right away on Facebook. Hey, if you want this stuff, it's yours. If not, obviously, I'd be honored to keep it if it's something that you don't want. But, it's kind of a sensitive thing to reach out to someone like that. I did not hear back from her. If any of you guys still use Facebook, one thing you'll know is if you're not friends with someone on Facebook, all messages go to the request, and a lot of people don't ever see those. So I thought, I'd never hear from her. That was about a year ago. So flash forward to last week, she actually got a hold of me, and she said, I don't know why I didn't ever see this message. I hope it's not too late. So I reached out back out to her, and later today I'm going to meet up with her, and I'm going to be able to give her this stuff, primarily for her son, but also for her as well. So, you know, I'm pretty excited, kind of nervous. It's going to be a weird little bit of a situation, but I thought I would kind of document what's in the tub, what I was able to acquire. Like I said, I think maybe I got half of the military stuff that was there, and then the other stuff was all family items. I wish I could have afforded all that, but obviously I can't. So I got what I could, and I'm going to give you guys kind of a quick view of a soldier's things after they pass away, some of the stuff that comes home, you know. So give me 1 sec. I'm going to flash back over, and I'll give you guys a look at that. All right, so hopefully you guys can see this. And again, I'm not showing this as a documentation of, you know, how cool this stuff is or anything. It's kind of to show you the personal remains of the cost of war, if you will. And as you guys can see, this right here, this is actually the flag that would have draped his casket after the service. I do have these things thrown in here just a little bit for the transport, and I'm trying to avoid showing the name, but this is the actual paperwork. These are the actual documentation of what was left behind. There's the photo album again, not necessarily needing to see that. The duffel bag, this is his uniform. This is her uniform. The dog tags. Watch the name there. I have the ACUs, combat uniform, shirts, journals, cavalry spurs. He was a 19 Delta Cavalry Scout, which is a very honorable, very combat-oriented MOS. These are what medal cases look like nowadays. This would be an Army Commendation Medal that he was awarded at some point. You can see by the clip on there that would have been awarded to him in person. They don't, it's a little difficult to pin a uniform on somebody with the actual pin. So when they're awarding them now, generally what they do is they're going to just clip it on you and then give you the medal later. This is going to be a Bronze Star. Generally, any soldier that's killed in action, they end up giving them or awarding them the Bronze Star posthumously as well. And then this is the Purple Heart, and you can see the case is a little beat up just from storage and the way they are, but I'm not going to show the back with his name, even though I've kind of glanced over it unintentionally over here a little bit. But this is a Purple Heart. This is a Purple Heart for a soldier who was killed in action, and obviously in past wars, those may have been a bit more common, but thankfully, you know, over the global war on terror, there wasn't as many killed in action as there have been in wars past. But each one of those soldiers, it's just as meaningful to their family as, you know, the scores and scores and hundreds of thousands that were killed in previous wars. But to this family and to this child and to this wife, this is kind of the symbol of the ultimate sacrifice here. So later today, like I said, I'll be giving all this back, and I'm pretty happy that this is going to be where it belongs. It's going to be with that boy. I don't know how old he was now. Like I said, that Facebook page is pretty out of date, so we'll see. But he's going to have at least a chance to hold something tangible from that sacrifice. Anyways, just thought I'd give you guys an update what I'm doing here today, and hopefully we'll get some more content out to you guys soon. But all right, thanks for watching.